Hi, how's it going? Well, it's been a while since I've done a Second Life tutorial, so I thought I would do one on one of my absolute favorite things to do in Second Life, and that is photography. Photography has been a huge part of Second Life for so long. I mean, I've been around for like 17 years, I think, at this point. I'm ancient, I know. But I've been around for a very, very long time. And in that time, photography has only become more and more of a big deal in Second Life with all of the bloggers and all the amazing artists and things that are a part of this community. Taking pictures of our avatar has really become a pivotal thing in Second Life, I would say. At least for me, it is a absolute must-have. So I thought I would just share some tips and tricks on how to do photography in Second Life. Now, I think it's important to say up front that although just about anybody can do the various techniques and tricks that I'm going to show in this tutorial, the results that you get are going to vary largely based on your personal computer and your graphics capabilities. A brand new top-of-the-line graphics card is going to give you much better images than you're going to get from a MacBook from the early 2000s. And you'll probably catch that on fire. Not that I know anything about that from personal experience or anything. Cough, cough. Still, there are things you can do to lower your graphics settings and not fry your computer and still get some reasonably decent images no matter what you're working with. So let's start from the absolute beginning, which is taking a photo in Second Life. If you're new to the game, it might take you a little bit to figure out how exactly you do go about taking a photo. There are a couple of ways that you can achieve this, and either one is fine depending on the results that you're looking for. If you're just wanting to show your friend an outfit that you saw or maybe an avatar that was really cool, you can just do a screenshot. That's totally fine. If you're looking for something you're going to want to be editing later, you're going to want to go in and edit some of the settings a little bit just to make your image a little bit bigger and a little bit more pixelier. And of course, dancing is important too. So to go in here, you want to go to Snapshot. And there we've taken a snapshot of Zombina. Now you can add some filters on here, like some, oh goodness, we can fry her. She does a good job of frying herself, honestly. So there are a couple of filters built into the Second Life photography system. Personally, I don't use these. But we do want to do a few things here. Now you can share it directly onto your Flickr, onto your profile feed, which is your Second Life profile, send via email, or save to your inventory. Say if you're doing a, say if I actually had any kind of talent and made this outfit, which I do not, and I did not. It was, Cry Bun Bun is very, very cute. I love it. Living my emo girl fantasy today. But, you know, if you want to have a product image, you could just take that image and save that to your inventory, upload that onto whatever you're doing, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, you're done. But we want to save to disk. Once we get there, we get this little right here. This little, I don't know, options, I guess. So you can, if you want, include your HUDs into it. You can, you've got the filters here again that you can use. But the most important thing here is that we are going to want to change the size of our image. Now, this is, since I've reinstalled Firestorm as a new one, this actually, I think, still has the base one. So you can go with this one, that's totally fine, or you can do a custom size to make that something that's going to give you as much as your computer can handle. Now you're going to want to figure this out based on your graphics card and everything, but basically the bigger size you can get in that, the better, because that's going to give you more pixels to work with when you are working on your post-processing, if that's something you're going to be doing. So for right now, this is totally fine. I'm just going to go with current window. Personally, I always save it as a PNG. It's going to go wherever you want your pictures saved. Another way to get to the taking a photo is the little snapshot right here. And that will automatically take your picture. And of course, you can refresh as many times as you'd like. So you can take your picture and you can just use it like that. We'll go ahead and save one of those. And there we go. Done. But there are a few things you can do to alter the scene either before or after you've taken your picture. So to alter your scene before, there are a few really cool little settings called WindLights. They are kind of like presets you can use to switch around the lighting and the shadows and all of that. The atmosphere, I really love that foggy one. Which one is it? I think it's, oh no, not that one. Oh, I can't remember which one it was. But basically, these give you a really great starting point. And oh, there we go. Love that one. They can really add a lot of personality to your photos. They can also really change. I mean, if you take a look at, let me zoom in on Zombina. Let's get you to stand still for a minute, girl. Okay, so let's turn her AO off. Now see, even just that, the shadows of the butterfly is so cool. But if you watch her face as we click through a couple of these, it's really going to change around the way that the face looks. The different shadows and stuff can really bring out a lot of things that might not have been apparent in your skins to begin with when you're wearing them. Now, these are also great for creating a kind of moody atmosphere. Say you're trying to do a horror picture or a fairy picture or whatever kind of mood you're trying to create, like, you can definitely do that a lot easier with WindLights. I believe, so it's been a while since I've done this. I believe that these come automatically in the Firestorm viewer as well as the Black Dragon viewer. I don't know about any other viewers because I simply just don't really use them that much. Like, those are the two that I really use the most. Now, in these, you can also go in and adjust. So we want to go down here to the bottom to personal lighting. Once we're in here, this is our little sun, and we can move that around and really fine tune where those shadows are at. Now, as you can see, it can make things look a little pixely and funky. So you do have to kind of play with it. Not every wind light is going to work that great with this. But you can also kind of adjust the haze, adjust the clouds, adjust all kinds of, oh gosh, zombie, you look fried. So you can adjust all kinds of things, and we can even adjust the moon here. Anything you want on here, pretty much, you can really fine tune a lot of these things to get the look that you're going for. And of course, if you don't like it the way it is, you can always just switch it back to a different one, and it will not save those changes that you made. You can save those if you'd like to make a new preset. Say you found one that like makes your avatar look absolutely amazing. You can go in and save that as a new preset. Just name it what you want, and you'll be good to go. So now that you know how to take a picture in Second Life, one of the most important things is posing your avatar. There are a few different ways that you can do this. Of course, you can just go with not click on that. Of course, you can go with the poses that are already a part of your AO, your animation overrider. This will be something that you have purchased and should show up as a HUD on the side of your screen unless you're using the one that is built into Firestorm. I'm not sure if the other viewers have a built-in AO. I personally use Firestorm. I haven't really used any of the other ones except for Black Dragon, so I'm not really sure if they do have a built-in AO. If anybody does know, feel free to comment. That would be a great help to anybody who is looking for that information, and thank you to anybody that does. But since I don't only use the Firestorm viewer and Black Dragon, I'm not really going to comment on any of the other ones because I don't want to talk about what I don't know about. So, as I was saying, there are a few different ways to go about posing your avatar. Now, you can use your built-in AO poses. Sure, that's fine. I mean, she's definitely standing there. Or you can use animations. Now, these are poses that creators make that are usually a single pose. They're sold in packs of, I don't know, like 5 to... Don't mean to get back here. Let me see, these are all sitting ones, aren't they? They are sitting, okay. So they're usually, yes, it's dance time. They're usually sold in packs of about 5 to 10, depending on the creator. Let's see. They can be a pose that you click on here, And oh my gosh, they're all sitting down. Okay, I know that these down here. Let's just go with these because I know that she's standing in these. There we go. Done. Okay. So see, this one is sold in a pack of 10, and that's usually what that creator does, is sells a pack of 10 of them. Some will be 2, some will be 5, some will sell just one single pose and that's all you get, and you're gonna like it and you're gonna be happy about it. But usually the standard is about 5 to 10 poses. Now these are great because they can kind of put your avatar into the pose and she stays there. Of course, the tail, that's a different story. That's not going to stop that. And the ears, anything that's like animesh or anything that moves on its own, the eyeballs, all of that, you can't really stop those with these kinds of poses. As far as I'm aware, I might not know what I'm talking about there, but as far as I'm aware, that is the case. You can stop like the eyeballs. I'll show you another way of posing the face and everything a little bit later. And of course, you can usually go into like ears and tails and stuff and turn off the twitchy animations and stuff in those if that's something that you want to do also. Or, just kind of be lazy and do how I do and wait until your tail is where you want it and snap your picture. That's how I handle that one. So when you're doing these animations, and we're dancing again, when you're doing these animations, you can choose to play it in world, and that will broadcast that to everybody. So if you're standing around with your friends, you're suddenly going to start voguing if you hit the play in world button. If you hit play locally, only you are going to be seeing that pose. So to your friends, you might be standing around doing the noob, stare into space. So if you've turned your avatar off, that's what you're going to look like to everybody else if you hit play locally. If you have your AO still on, you're just going to look like yourself. So whether you turn your avatar overrider off or not really depends on the pose that you're doing. Some poses are set to a lower priority than whatever is in your AO, so they're not going to play that great. Some of them will be a high enough priority that they'll just go ahead and play despite having your animation overrider on, and you'll be fine. So you're kind of going to have to play around with different poses and kind of see, what works, what doesn't. Now, if you're standing around by yourself because you're a loner weirdo like me, then it doesn't really matter whether you play in world or locally. So poses are cool because they can be just a pose like that, but sometimes they can come with different items that you can use that are really fun to play with. Let me see here. Let me find one. Oh, here we go. This is one of my personal favorites. So we'll go there. And then, so no. Well, you get the idea. There we go. So see, you get cool little props that you can use as part of the pose. See, without the skull, we're just kind of standing there, but we can boop, not that one. We can boop, and we've got ourselves a little skull. Super fun. Love it. There are tons of different ones like that you can use. This one's got a cigarette. This one's got a cotton candy. Let's see. Boop. These are great for doing any kind of fun little photography that you want to do. Say you've got an idea, you can find those kinds of things. Oh, this one's fun because it has little knives in it. Here we go. Uh-oh. Zombina, don't chop your head off. There's also items such as furniture. Of course, almost every piece of furniture that you can find is going to have some kind of pose in it, usually lots of adult poses because Second Life. But you can find ones that are specifically made for posing. Lots of animation and pose stores will sell that kind of stuff, so super fun. Now, once you have yourself posed, you might notice that you're not really looking at the camera or... Whoa! What? What was that? Oh my good lord. Okay. Well, we definitely weren't looking at the camera there. So see, we have Zombina posed and we want to take her picture. Oh, not of those. Come on, Zombina. Get it together. So we have Zombina posed and we want to take her picture, but you know, we can't really quite get. Okay, well, we're dancing again. Zombina, this is not the time for dancing. What are we doing, girl? We're gonna go with that pose because that is. So, as you can see, we have her pose, but she's not really, I mean, we might be able to kind of zoom in and get her to look at the camera, but maybe we want to fine tune that. Maybe we want her looking over this direction or over towards that sign back there, or maybe we want her head up a little bit. So, there are ways that you can pose your avatar's head and move their eyes around and all of that. That really helps to add to your picture. One of my personal favorite ways of changing my avatar's face around is the Axis Face HUD. So this HUD allows us to change all kinds of different things actually. So before we get into that though, I will show you real quick. It's pretty basic. These heads, the Leluca heads, do have expressions built into them. So let me, we're doing the Elvis there. So they have various expressions pre-built into the head that you can do that might work for what you're doing. There's, you know, different smiles and all kinds of different things. And you can do different like eyelid animations and stuff within the HUD for the head itself. But I like things to be a little bit more detailed. So, whoa, we're gonna break her neck. Um, so we're just gonna turn her around a little bit. And now she's actually looking at us. And that was with the neck part of the HUD. So one of my favorite parts of this one is that we can move her eyes anywhere that we want them to be. If you don't want them to be connected, say you want to bring this eye in and this eye in and this eye maybe a little bit more and this eye just a little bit more, we can do um we can do the eyes one at a time, or we can link them and they'll both be looking the same direction. I really like this one because it has a lot of great presets that you can use, or you can really fine tune things. We'll raise the eyebrow up a little bit, raise the eyebrow there, bring it back down, make her angry. Angy eyebrows. You can also open the mouth, close it, raise a lip, raise that lip, raise a little bit more, maybe raise that, open her that. So you can really do a lot of fine tuning to the face. We can put the tongue out. Oh, she doesn't have her tongue attached. Oh my goodness. Girl, you are a mess. Now that we have a tongue, we can stick our tongue out. There we go. And I will say though, this particular tongue, it's by the Dead Boy. It actually does come with its own HUD. Really, really cool. I like this one a lot. It's been my go-to for a long time. You can really do a lot of maybe bring up an eyelid, like ugh. So see, you can make all kinds of different let's fix her there. There you go, girl. There you go. You can make all kinds of different expressions. You can really put a lot of personality and character into your avatars by using this HUD. I really, really like this one a lot. And most importantly, you can actually have them look at the camera, which is fantastic. Now, as far as moving around your avatar, that's pretty simple. If you want to move around like this, it's just Alt, left click on your mouse, and you can in, out, and around and really kind of get that camera where you want it to be. Now say you've got it there, but maybe it's tilted a little bit. So you go Alt, Control, and then you can use your arrow buttons to up, down, move around, and really kind of get that locked into where you want it to be. You can also say that you've got it there, but you want it zoomed in a little bit more. You can Alt click on your avatar and Alt click and kind of zoom that in a little bit more. Now say that that's not zoomed in enough. You can Alt click behind your avatar and then zoom in even more. I will say that this does kind of, this can, as you can see, that does, whoa, showing our zombie side there. Actually, speaking of that, there is one other thing that you can do, which is really cool. If you go to World, Photo and Video, to Photo Tools, or just Alt-P, and this brings up, so you can also do your wind lights and all of that from here. You can adjust your lighting from here. But you can also go into depth of field, which can be a little bit difficult on older computers, but newer computers, it can really add a lot. So you click on that, and as you can see, this is not a good depth of field for her. What we can do though is we can kind of mess with it, bring it around, and see that's kind of bringing that into focus. Our focal length, there she is. So we can kind of change that and see. I don't know if you can see the difference there with it on and off, on and off, on and off. It just adds a little bit of depth and shadows, and people who are better at it than me can really make it look cool. And as far as just a little side note, so where I am at is actually a place called Backdrop City. And let me see if I can get out of here. It's really fantastic because it has all kinds of different backdrops and things that you can use. I'm sure, as you could probably have guessed by that name. It has all kinds of little like backdrops and things that you can use. So this is just one level of this one. This I think is the Tumblr level. But we'll go back down to the main one here. So as you can see, Backdrop City is really great because they've got just, oh my gosh, like so many different photography backdrops that you can use for your pictures. There are a couple of different places like this that offer that. And of course, there are all kinds of, if you go into the destination guide, there are actually all kinds of photographic locations. Let's see. Photography, photogenic spots. So there are places that people build in Second Life that are specifically for photography, which is awesome because there's all kinds of cool places that you can go and really kind of think up, oh wow, the retro 80s community, that's really cool. I have to go check that out. But really all kinds of things like there is limitless inspiration for photos and photography in Second Life and just creating in general. All right, so now that we have our photo, we have it opened up in Photoshop, and I will preface this part by saying I am absolutely not an expert in Photoshop. I am probably not the most skilled person to be doing this tutorial, but this is just a couple of things that I've picked up and that I personally use when working on my Second Life photos. Now, once we have it in here, there are a couple of adjustments that we can make to kind of make it look a little bit better than it did coming straight out of Second Life. One of my first things that I'll do is add a couple of adjustment layers just to kind of change the coloring a little bit. And we can go in here and change our reds and greens and stuff and kind of get our skin tone to where we want it to be. And see already that's looking just a slight adjustment, but it really, I feel, adds a lot. Then we'll go in here and do, I don't know, let's do a color balance. Really kind of bring out the color in her hair a little bit. See very slight changes, but I feel like they make a difference. We'll go to hue and saturation. And let's do a brightness contrast. kind of brighten that up just a little. And see, already we can kind of see the smaller details a little bit better. And I think that that is good for this image. Now, you can go through and do every single one of these. You can work on your levels, you can work on your exposure. But one other thing that I like to do, I have just switched to a new computer, so I don't have a lot of my Second Life specific actions, but I do have some photography actions, and I feel like actions can be kind of a fun way to really play with your images and see what you can come up with. I've come up with some really interesting things in, I see even like right there that completely changed the image. Love it. So we'll let's go ahead and take that off. See, that's what it looks like without the action, and boom, with boom, boom, boom. And we'll just try, let's try, I don't know, let's go with vintage red. Now you want to click back on your image. If you're going to try a different one, you want to make sure that this one is clicked off in your layers tab. Make sure you're on your layer 0, which is your original image. That way this action will play to that specifically. So let's go ahead and play that action, and that's a bit much for me. Not a fan of that one, so we'll go ahead and delete that one. Yep. And let's try another one. Let's try, sure. Let's try the lucid butterfly. Not bad. Now, once you're done with that, you can kind of go in and change the opacity and the fill of each layer within the action and really kind of adjust from there also. But that one kind of really blows it out a little bit. So personally, I don't think I'm really a fan of that one. I really like this one. But I feel like we need to maybe zoom in on our image a little bit. So we're going to crop that ever so slightly. And there we go. All right. There we go. And there we go. I mean, that already is a changed image.